Well, g'day, my name's Wesley from Business Blessings, and during this month of April, we're doing a Breakthrough to Success program. The program consists of 4 different webinars, one on removing spiritual blockages, one on personal responsibility in the QBQ. The third one is on the meeting that changes your life every day, called With 2 Chairs, and the fourth one is on communication. And then we're topping it off with a 1-day retreat on May the 6th. So we're now 2 webinars in, and I wanted to give you a taste of one of the webinars of personal responsibility in the QBQ, and also a testimony from one of the participants from the program. So here we go. I'm going to just quickly go in and share my screen. And we're going to talk about and play a little bit of the segment from this morning's webinar on personal responsibility and the QBQ. So this is a webinar with Kristen Ledeen. And it starts off, Kristen has just told a very funny story, actually a very potent story that gives kind of the background to this. And then she leads into the key aspect of the QBQ and talks about victim thinking. So here we go.
That's a brilliant story that you just told, because it's like how many times I can picture if I can, because I backed into poles, and because I've had kids in the car, and because they're watching, but also in a workplace environment, things are going, and we can say wrong all the time. Like, you know, things are not, maybe the wrong is the wrong thing, but they're not going to plan. And how many times is it so much easier just to fly off the handle and let it rip, as we say here in Australia, rather than stopping yourself and saying, okay, what is the better question that I can ask you? What is the QBQ behind what I'm saying? Because you can totally change the outcome of what's going to happen next. You do that. Like if you flew off the handle, then it'll give the kids permission to fly off the handle, it'll give your husband permission to fly off the handle, like the whole situation would have just exploded. So it's a great story.
Yeah, it's a key example in my mind when I'm frustrated and in the moment to just take that deep breath and say, okay, all right, there's got to be a better question here I can ask that. Well, like you said, it really does change the entire situation when I'm able to pause and make that better choice in the moment.
Excellent. So what kind of questions do we ask?
Absolutely. That's the next part, right? Well, let me see if I can grab the right slide here. No. There we go. So we do have 3 guidelines that we create, or my dad created when he created this tool, that helps us build those better questions. So we knew that we didn't want people to just have this vague notion of asking better questions. We wanted it to be really practical, because when you're in those moments where an employee comes to you and says, well, I can't figure this out, what am I supposed to do? And you want to just scream at them, when are you going to figure out how to take some initiative and solve the problem yourself? You're not in the right mindset to just kind of vaguely and randomly create a better question. So we wanted to make it really practical with 3 very tangible, very easy to use steps for building this better question, so that in those moments, in those heated moments, we're able to draw on those 3 practical guidelines for building these better questions. So the first guideline is very simple. It's all QBQs begin with what or how. The words what or how. QBQs do not begin with the words why, when, or who. And let me explain why. We have 3 traps. The 3 traps are victim thinking, procrastination, and blame. Now, victim thinking is really just a fancy word for whining. Do you ever whine?
Yes.
I whine.
Absolutely never.
Yeah, you're perfect. You're a saint, right? Yeah. I whine almost every day. Why did that baby get me up at 5 a.m.? Why don't my clients return my emails? Why aren't we making any sales? You know, these kind of questions, it's so easy to go to the why. why is this happening to me? Why is life so hard? Why doesn't anyone listen to me? Why doesn't anyone understand me? Why don't you communicate better? Why don't you pick your socks up off the floor? These questions that start with why lead us to victim thinking. And it's a fancy word for whining or complaining. But playing the victim, it's really difficult to practice personal accountability when you're playing the victim, when you're throwing yourself a pity party. So questions that begin with why and have a poor me tone lead us to victim thinking, not to personal accountability. So QBQs could never start with the word why, because the why questions tend to lead us to victim thinking. Now, I have had some clients tell me about
Well, yeah, there you go. We're going to leave that there, but it gives you a taste of some of the things that Kristen talked about this morning. She went on later, went through really the whole thing about using what and how questions. She took more about the 3 different traps of victim thinking, procrastination, and blame. She talks about how it's all about I and taking personal responsibility. And action questions like, what can I do to help and how can I serve? But then there was a question at the end that she really posed, and of course this all was like a boom moment, if you like. So how can I let go of what I can't control? How can I let go of what I can't control? And she unpacked that. So it was a very powerful webinar. Well, I can sit here and say that to you, but I want you to hear from one of our participants, Susan Flattery, about how she has found the first 2 webinars. And both these webinars are now available for the people who purchase the Breakthrough to Success program. They're available for you straight away. So I'm going to just share my screen here and go back. I think it's, here we go, this one here. Okay, and we're going to go and play this video.
Wes's Breakthrough to Success program for April is already proving to be really important for me. We've done 2 webinars already. We've been going for just under a week. The things that we've been looking at have really challenged us to take a really clear, fresh, new look at what we're doing in our businesses and trying to identify new solutions to problems that we've probably been looking at and trying to deal with for months. The first webinar we did was looking at blockages and really focused a lot on very personal factors such as relationships, how we manage our business in terms of our ethics, the way that we approach our clients and our customers. It was a very personal and fairly intensive experience. It's been really useful for me because it's given me an insight into things that are barriers and potential blockages that I've never even necessarily considered at all. So that was really amazing, and it was fairly significant for me personally, and I've got a new, fresh understanding of the sorts of things that can influence what I'm doing. This morning we did QBQ. QBQ's the question beyond the question, and the approach for that is really a questioning technique that gives us tools to enable us to have a look at questions and issues and problems from a different perspective. And it's really looking at personal accountability, and it's looking at how to develop solutions and responses now for the sorts of things that we can do for ourselves moving forward. Both webinars have been really, really important for me, and I've really got a lot out of them.
Well, thank you, Suzanne. That's really great. I really appreciate your feedback and your participation in the program. Well, some more details about the program at our website, businessblessings.com.au. So you can go there. You can see that there's a full outline of the program for when we started on the 11th of April and going through to the 6th of May. You can see that it's about 4 different guest presenters. So Kristen Ledeen, who you heard a little bit from there. Bob Bodine is the CEO of Eastman and Bodine. He's the top sports and entertainment recruiter in the US. He'll be talking about his book, 2 Chairs. And we just have a little here. The most important meeting on your daily schedule. Our special guest will give you simple yet hugely effective strategies for meeting with God every day in your business. Which there. The last couple will be Paul and Jenny Nadescu from Kairos Leadership Academy from the UK will be joining us, because what we've been finding is that, and research points a lot to this, that while you may have problems, it's not the problem, but it's how you communicate about the problem. And so we want to see you have breakthrough in the whole area of communication during this month. So we top off with a one-day retreat on Saturday, the 6th of May, that you'd be welcome to attend. And for those that are out of town, we're looking at live streaming that. So just, if that's the case, because we do have a number of people that aren't from Brisbane participating in the program, that will be live streaming it from them. So the total package of this is worth $811.35, but your investment is only $495. And with that, you're going to receive one. You'll be getting your own copy of the book. When you think that a bestseller is 5,000 here in Australia, when a book is sold over 1 million copies, you've got to pay attention to that. And hence why we got Christian Ledeen on to talk about that today. Bob Bodine's book, you'll get a copy of that for 2 chairs, and our program participants have already got their copy of that, and they're reading through that prior to the webinar with Bob next week, so we can get that sent out to you. The third one is the Complementary Life Languages Profile. So this is in the lead up to the webinar on communication. Can I say that the Life Languages Profile is probably one of the best profiling tools out there, because it does not put you in a box. It really, it's almost like a prophetic reading of who you are and how God has designed you. And once you know that, it actually can bring peace and settle your soul. In the preparation for this program, when I was talking to Paul and Jenny, who are going to do that whole webinar on communication, they're going to talk about the Great Commandment, the Great Commandment, and the Great Commission. They're going to talk about loving God. They're going to talk about loving yourself, and they're going to talk about loving others, and then using that as to going out to the Great Commandment, but using the Life Languages Profile to understand even greater how you can love yourself. The other thing is you'll get access to our Powerful Prayer Strategies online course, which has I think 30 or 40 now, strategies in there, prayer strategies that you can implement in different circumstances of your life. And of course, you'll get 12 months access to our webinar recordings as well. So all this is, you can see there's a short promo from Kristen. So again, the value of the package is $495. So just go to businessblessings.com.au. You'll see all the details there, and you can purchase that straight away, and we'll give you access to the whole program. Also, down the bottom of that page, you'll see the webinar, which gives you really the prophetic insight into why we're doing the Breakthrough to Success program during April and May, and some of the prophetic things that we've heard from the intercessors and prophets as they've spoken into us in that. Well, thank you for watching this short update. I'm going to stop the screen share now. It's been so great to be working with those that are in the program. It's not too late to join. We've still got 2 webinars to go. You can access the 2 webinars that have already happened straight away. In fact, actually over Easter would be a great time for you to because we're quieting ourselves down. It's not such a hectic schedule. You can take time to listen. I think the first one was about an hour and a half, and the one today was about an hour and 10 minutes. You can go back and watch them and listen to them, gain access to all the other prayer strategies. There may be issues that you're facing right now that in our Powerful Prayer Strategies online course that you can access. Well, it's easy to join. Go to businessblessings.com.au, and I look forward to seeing you as part of the Breakthrough to Success program during